What makes someone willing to abandon their own judgment and surrender to another person's vision? The answer lies deep in the psychology of cult leaders, a dark corner of human behavior that reveals uncomfortable truths about influence, authority, and our need to belong. Cult leaders aren't born. They're made by a combination of personality traits, psychological vulnerabilities, and carefully orchestrated manipulation tactics that exploit the deepest parts of human nature. At the core of every cult leader's psychology is an overwhelming need for power and control. These individuals often possess what psychologists call narcissistic personality traits, an inflated sense of self-importance, a lack of empathy for others, and an insatiable hunger for admiration and obedience. They don't see their followers as people. They see them as extensions of their own ego. Cult leaders are typically gifted communicators and performers. They understand human psychology intuitively, even if they can't articulate it. They know how to read a room, identify vulnerabilities in their audience, and craft messages that resonate on an emotional level. They tell stories that feel personally relevant, offer simple answers to complex problems. They promise belonging to people who feel isolated, and they do it all with absolute conviction, which is perhaps the most powerful tool they possess. That conviction is rarely genuine enlightenment. Instead, it often stems from a deep-seated childhood trauma or psychological wound. Many cult leaders experienced abuse, neglect, or humiliation during their formative years. They learned early that the world was unsafe, and that survival meant either dominating others or being dominated. As adults, they unconsciously recreate those power dynamics, but this time with themselves firmly in control. It's a compulsion born from unhealed pain, masked as spiritual authority. The manipulation tactics employed by cult leaders are remarkably consistent across different groups and time periods. They begin by creating an us versus them mentality, portraying the outside world as corrupt, dangerous, or spiritually bankrupt. This isolation is crucial because it makes followers psychologically dependent on the group for their sense of reality and self-worth. Inside the group, members are subjected to information control, where alternative viewpoints are suppressed and the leader's teachings become the only acceptable framework for understanding the world. Physical isolation often accompanies psychological isolation. Cult leaders frequently encourage their followers to distance themselves from family members and old friends. They may establish compounds or isolated communities where members live together under constant supervision. This removes the possibility of outside reality checks and creates an environment where the leader's authority is unquestioned and absolute. When you're surrounded only by people who accept the leader's worldview, that worldview begins to feel like objective truth. Sleep deprivation and exhaustion are powerful tools in the cult leader's arsenal. When the mind is tired, critical thinking suffers dramatically. Cult leaders exploit this by demanding long work hours, intense study sessions of their doctrine, and repetitive activities like chanting or meditation. The exhausted mind becomes suggestible, and suggestion becomes internalized as belief. Over time, followers lose their ability to think independently. They stop questioning because they're too tired to question. Financial exploitation is another consistent pattern. Cult leaders demand monetary contributions from their followers, often under the guise of spiritual advancement or group survival. Followers are told that giving money is a sign of commitment, that it brings them closer to enlightenment, or that the group desperately needs their sacrifice. This creates a psychological investment where followers have literally put their money where their mouth is. Walking away becomes harder because they've sunk resources into the group, and admitting the group is fraudulent means admitting they've wasted their own money. One of the most insidious tactics is love bombing followed by intermittent punishment. New recruits are showered with attention, acceptance, and affection. They're made to feel seen and valued in ways they may have never experienced before. Then, once they're emotionally attached, the punishment begins. Breaking rules results in public humiliation, loss of privileges, or temporary shunning. This creates a trauma bond where followers crave the return of the love and affection, and they'll do almost anything to regain the leader's approval. It's the same mechanism that keeps domestic abuse victims in relationships, and it's devastatingly effective. Cult leaders also exploit existential anxieties that all humans share. They offer ultimate answers to questions about the meaning of life, the nature of reality, and what happens after death. They promise that by following them, you'll achieve enlightenment, immortality, or salvation. For people struggling with depression, anxiety, or a sense that life lacks purpose, this offer is intoxicating. The leader becomes a lifeline, and the group becomes a life raft. Leaving means facing those existential fears alone again, and many followers simply can't bear that thought. The psychology of cult followers reveals that ordinary people are vulnerable to this influence. It's not just the mentally ill or the stupid who join cults. It's people experiencing major life transitions, people who've suffered losses, people who are lonely or searching for meaning. They're not fundamentally different from you or me. They've just encountered a skilled manipulator at a moment of particular vulnerability. Understanding cult leader psychology isn't just an academic exercise. It's practical knowledge that helps us recognize manipulation when we encounter it. Red flags include charismatic figures who demand absolute obedience, organizations that isolate members from outside relationships, teachings that position the leader as uniquely enlightened or divinely chosen, and systems that exploit time and money. When you see these patterns, whether in spiritual groups, political movements, or even corporate cultures, you should question what's really happening. The recovery process for cult survivors is lengthy and painful. Many experience what's called cult recovery syndrome, characterized by depression, anxiety, difficulty trusting others, and identity confusion. They have to rebuild their sense of self from scratch because so much of their identity became wrapped up in the group and the leader. Therapy helps, support groups help, and reconnecting with family helps. But the psychological scars of cult involvement often last a lifetime. What's most important to understand is that cult leaders succeed because they exploit genuine human needs. The need for belonging, the need for meaning, the need for certainty in an uncertain world. If you found this exploration of cult psychology valuable, please like this video. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Have you ever encountered manipulative influence in your own life, whether in a group, relationship, or organization? What warning signs did you notice?